So let's have a look at a simple exercise for the centerline punch. Now, it can be used, something I forgot to mention in the last video is that it can be used both offensively and defensively. So if Carsten's throwing a punch towards me, I can use it as a block, but it can also obviously be used as a strike as well. Yeah? So it has both offensive and defensive capacities. Now, the first simple exercise you can do, just to get yourself into a rhythm for it, is to get your partner, if you have a partner with you, to face you with their guard up. And what they're going to do is they're going to use the centerline punch defensively. So we're just going to train it initially coming down the center. Yeah? And look, often the beginner's mind might not be so beginner's mind and open, and you might start thinking, yeah, but what happens if they throw a hook punch? Well, we'd do something different if there was a hook punch, yeah? Meaning, as I throw a punch down the center and Carsten uses his centerline punch to defend, yes, a hook punch could be thrown. Yes, a kick could be thrown. Yes, another person from the side could attack him. Yes, I could pull out a sword and cut off his arms. I mean, there's so many things that can potentially happen in self-defense, but we break it down into areas so you can develop skills. Just like in anything in life, you chunk the skills in order to increase development. So, Carsten starts from his stance and guard. You're going to throw your partner a punch straight down the center, either in a Wing Chun formation or a horizontal fist boxing formation, doesn't really matter. What they want to do is they want to meet that punch. So as the punch comes through, they meet the punch with either the back of the hand / forearm, and they go to punch through. So he punches through my punch to defend against it. Now, as I come through, you can see Carsten's just meeting it and using it as a block. Carsten's intention should be to actually strike through to the target. That's his intent, yeah? And he makes contact with it and hits through. So he keeps his hand on the center, he keeps his hands on his center, he closes his fist and he drives the arm through towards my center line. Now, common mistakes here is that the person may put pressure towards the actual contact point. Meaning, as I come through to punch, Carsten might push against my arm. And if he pushes against my arm, I take my hand away, you see how his arm falls this way. So if I go to punch towards him and I do it wrong, as he's going to punch towards me and he takes his hand away, my hand will shoot across this way. So rather than doing that, I should always be targeting everything forward down the center. So if Carsten takes his hand away, my hand just goes straight forward to the target. So you keep your focus down the center. That's probably one of the biggest mistakes I see with beginners, is that they'll force against the contact point as opposed to focus into the center. So I'll say that again because it's important. Do not put force at the contact point. Focus your body's mass, your mind's intention, and the direction of your movement into the center of the opponent, not at the contact point. So if Carsten puts a little bit of pressure at the contact, see how he's off. His punch won't actually hit me, but also he's tensing himself up. So if he presses at the contact point, his shoulder tenses up and I can actually start to attack that and use that against him. So he wants to make sure he's actually targeting straight to me, yeah. And you do this by pointing the elbow, wrist, hand, and the whole body, the whole structure, even your mind, into the center of the opponent. So as he reaches through towards me now, you'll see he stays nice and balanced, he stays directly towards me, and it actually offsets my balance. So once again, he keeps his guard up, stands on, starts throwing simple, slow punches straight down, and he uses the centerline punch to defend. And then you can also start to move around if you want to make that a bit more difficult, or just advance it a bit. So he has to track and stay with me, and then I throw those punches down the center. And he uses his centerline punch to defend against that incoming strike. So this is a simple exercise to get a feeling for the centerline punch. Keep your guard up, keep your concentration in the center. Don't force into the contact points, connect to the other opponent's center. Okay, and before we finish the video actually, if you don't have a partner, once again, you've got your imaginary friend. You know? Imagine you've got a person throwing punches at you and you're throwing the punches down the center. You can even imagine that you're doing it wrong and start to gain an awareness of that. Okay, I'm pushing against their arm, keep relaxed and focus into them. So practice with your imaginary friend, they're moving around, bang, call them Bob or Steve or whatever you want, or Mary. Just bring your imaginary friend in and practice with them. That's one way you can do it. If you have a dummy, if you have a wooden dummy, then you can imagine, you can actually use the arm. So imagine this is a dummy arm. You can actually punch through the arm of the dummy, punch through the arm of the dummy, punch through the arm. So, and get used to pressing against it and not pressing against it and aiming into the actual center of the dummy as well. Okay, look forward to seeing you in our next video.